bus is stuck in the snow. When chains on tires can't do the job, another solution is required. In the 1980s, in Trieste, Italy, an unusual-looking 4x4 bus was built for just these conditions. But looks are sometimes only skin deep. This is the story of the Simon Starline 4x4, the great-looking all-terrain bus that didn't do a great job. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now, in my last video, we took a look at a 4x4 all-terrain bus from the Soviet Union. That bus was quite successful in that nearly 14,000 of them were built. Now, I recently came across another 4x4 bus, and this one is from Italy, specifically Trieste. Now, this bus, to me, looked like a very interesting exercise in industrial design. However, its performance just didn't match the way it looked. It's a really interesting story. So, let's get started in learning about the Simon Starline 4x4 all-terrain bus. It was January of 1985, and a huge winter storm had brought life to a dead stop in northern Italy, including Trieste, where the streets became frozen. This forced city buses to frequently use chains on their tires to gain enough traction. But engineer Giorgio Capel, then director of operations for ACT, or what is now Trieste Transporti, didn't waste time in taking action. He quickly initiated a proposal for 6 standard-length buses equipped with automatic chains. In the spring of 1986, several in-bus U210 FTN vehicles arrived with a device that lowered and rotated the auxiliary chains under the inner rear tires at the same speed as the wheels themselves. However, the problem of gradients, which could be up to 23%, and the impassability due to heavy snow accumulation remained. Therefore, a better way to solve this problem was needed. The solution? It was found in utilizing the 4x4 all-wheel drive concept. The requirement to bid on the subsequent tender for a small fleet of short buses of 6.5 meters and 40 passengers was conditional on implementing all-wheel drive. The finances of the project led to the choice of the Starline truck chassis, also known as the Iveco 80.17.1W.1. It would be paired with a body from Simon, a co-founder of the Inbus Consortium. And the new bus would be known as the Simon Starline 4x4. In total, 7 short 4x4 buses were ordered and built for Trieste, numbered 501 to 507. Using the Iveco chassis as the basis for the new bus, several complications were encountered in its design, starting with the high floor height, which was approximately 1 meter above ground. To overcome this, Simon installed a retractable step with an automatic mechanism coordinated to the opening and closing of the door. This allowed the first step into the bus to be brought closer to the ground. The passenger saloon, with the exception of the engine mounted at the front, was thus level, but at a height of 1,060 millimeters. The testing of the prototype bus, number 501, was carried out in the mountains from the Tagliamento riverbed to the roads around Zapata. After the prototype was tested and certified for passenger use, the other 6 buses were given the green light on August 31st, 1987. The first vehicle was sent to Valtellina during the floods of July 1987 to overcome temporary muddy roads. The other Starlines were used on urban lines in Trieste, generally on routes 3, 12, 24, 38, 41, and the evening Line C. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the D. Simon Starline 4x4 bus. Number 1, length is 6.5 meters. Number 2, width is 2.31 meters. Number 3, height is 3.19 meters. Number 4, empty weight is 6,850 kilograms with a loaded weight of 9,770 kilograms. Number 5, seating capacity is 10. Number 6, door width is approximately 50 centimeters. And finally, number 7, engine is the Fiat 8060.25X of 170 horsepower. Despite the better performance derived from the higher horsepower turbocharged engine, the buses paid the price in other ways for its derived truck origin. The very high driving position made for poor handling in narrow passages. The forward position of the front axle required a completely different setting of the turning radius than usual. In addition, the leaf spring suspension was relatively stiff, and the presence of bumpy tires with thick treads made the ride uncomfortable. The connection between the steel frame and the semi-supporting stainless steel body required reinforcements due to the excessive rigidity of the structure, and the tires showed poor braking grip on wet roads. Then, with the arrival of the first Menarini M220 and Iveco 490 buses with a floor height of 550 millimeters, the high floor of the 4x4 Starlines prompted dissatisfaction among passengers. These and other shortcomings, combined with their lack of use, relegated them to the steepest or least frequented routes, or as shuttles in outlying areas when ice and snow made the higher terminals inaccessible. This, in turn, hastened their retirement. The official disposal of the last Starlines date back to 2004, although since 2002 they have been used mainly for spare parts. Bus number 501, the first Starline, does still exist and is part of the In-Bus Club collection, as well as number 502, which was owned by the Trieste Volunteer Fire Department. When the Simone ceased operations, it meant the end of the last of the major Italian coach builders willing to design a bus tailored to customer requirements without a large series order. Proof of this, of course, is the Starline itself. And there it is, the story of the D. Simon Starline 4x4 all-terrain bus, which could not go over most terrain. Now, there's a couple of other things I wanted to mention here. In one source that I've read, it stated that there were 2 more buses built beyond the 7-4 Trieste. And these 2 extra buses were built for the Vesuvius or Mount Vesuvius region, but I could not find any pictures of these 2 additional buses. So if there's anyone out there who can confirm whether or not these 2 extra buses were built, that would be very interesting to know. Second of all, I think it's quite interesting that D. Simon developed this new retractable step that comes out when the doors open and retracts when the doors close. However, even though they tried to make the bus more accessible, the bus is completely handicapped inaccessible. I think it may have been a little bit more practical to have had 1 large door instead of 2 very narrow doors of 20 inches wide. However, those 2 very narrow doors make the design quite interesting. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the D. Simon Starline 4x4 all-terrain bus. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.